for the last 15 live streams, and I couldn't get it done. I had to switch to the beta version.
Oh.
And we should be saying, yeah, we're live. I just got to refresh this, I think. Yep, there you guys are.
I don't see you though.
Nope, I'm there. Eric, I sent you a link, didn't I, bud? There's a lag, isn't there? Oh, it's because I got my phone on.
It's all you, Steve.
I hear myself talking to myself. Yeah, Eric here's. I wonder if you can join through that link in the chat. Is that how you guys joined, or did you get it from your email?
I got it from the email.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, there's a link in the chat below the live stream, I believe, that people. If you get off the live chat, yep. And I think you can join via that. But yeah.
Yeah, please join.
Yeah, Miles, you got to join. We got Jerry on camera. You see that?
What up?
Oh, you're working. Okay, I got you.
Be building them cabinets.
Have Screaming Crazy Lady. She can be on live too. I don't care. You know, I'm sure we won't mind.
No, more the merrier.
Steve.
What's up, bud?
Man, I put a lot of thought into that. You farting and all that. You smell that, don't you? You smell that? Y'all smell that?
What's that?
You smell that smell?
Ooh, that smell.
Of course you can't smell it. AI can't give you what God gives you.
Hey, Eric, what's up, bud? What's up, buddy?
Hello, I sound old right now.
You sound what?
My voice was crackling. I sounded like it was 80.
Oh, you're at work, huh?
Yeah, unfortunately, stuck doing this. Well, it's really free money most of the time, so.
Right. Do you work from home then?
Yeah, right now, mostly work remote. If I have to go out, like if I can't fix something remotely or other team members, go on the client site. But Tennessee here is a new market area, so we only have 2 customers. So going out on site really doesn't happen right now.
Right.
Shit, I don't know what's closed to get out, man. It's like 80 today.
Dude, right now it's snowing like mad out here. And yesterday it was 15 degrees. The day before that it was 45 degrees. And the day before that it was 45 below.
Yeah, we get that. It'll drop like 30 degrees within, less than 48 hours. But yeah, it was cold last night.
I had the kids out there throwing water in the air, so watching it freeze instantly,
Our kid told us that y'all getting cold as weather as the Antarctic.
Yep. Well, it's over now, for now anyway, until whatever happens, until it shifts back. I don't understand the whole weather thing, but I think it's tied to that the polar magnetic poles or whatever, where it's split. You guys are aware of that, right? Mm-hmm. Where it's showing 2 poles at the north.
I think it was even on the Weather Channel.
Yeah, that's when you know we're headed for something, when the Weather Channel starts talking about things. Have you guys watched Damon T. Berry's recent video that he put out today?
No.
It's pretty intriguing, pretty interesting.
Thanks to YouTube's even more censorship now. It's anything on the recommended feed has really gone dim.
Yes, right. I agree with that. I tend to regulate what my recommendations are by I'm not interested in. Then they ask you why, But I don't know. I don't know if that helps or not with the whole recommended feed. because you know if you start watching something, all of a sudden everything is geared in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it'll take you down the rabbit hole they want you to go down.
Right.
I'm not
Where
sure.
do you live, Deborah?
I live in Northwest Arkansas.
Nice. Not too far from me.
It's a little bit, huh?
What's the weather like there?
It's not too bad. It's cloudy today, about 50. Not too bad.
Yeah, 50 would be balmy for here.
Jerry
Yeah.
must be in Florida. It's sunny and half the trees are empty. From like halfway up to the bottom, they're like no limbs.
Yeah, I'm in South Carolina, not far from
Close.
Florida.
Okay.
How far are you from the ocean, Jerry?
Myrtle Beach is like let's see, 90 miles from here.
We got this crazy lady named April on here on live stream saying she sees her chickens, dude. What's up with that?
Oh man, I need a wrench. Throw her off.
We got somebody else here. Let's see who it is. Oh, it's Paula. Hi, Paula.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
How are you, Paula?
Uh-oh.
How are you, Paula?
Friggin' tired. I just woke up.
Woke up to what you went to bed with, right? I mean, doing this. Yeah, I sent out 30 invitations, I think. But then anybody that can have the time, they can click on turn the live chat off. If you're watching on the live stream right now, you can just click on the link that's in the chat, you know, in the regular chat below the video or below the live stream header. So yeah, I figured I paid for it. Might as well put it to use. You know, I am not working. Might as well turn this into my job anyway. You know.
Yeah, so I want to say hi to Jerry Ronk. I've seen him in several videos on another channel. And hi, Deborah Tucker. It's been a long time. I love you.
Love you too.
This is Rainbow.
Yes.
Paula, yep.
Paula. That's awesome. Good to meet you.
I'm gonna go get me my first cup of coffee. I won't be able to hear you, but I'll be right back.
I want some.
Hello, Eric. I didn't say hi to you.
Coffee, I meant tea.
Hello, Miss Deborah.
Yeah, but so Deborah, how is the knowledge that, I don't know, it seems like everybody in our little niche group or whatever is pretty much going in the same direction. Are you?
Yeah, for sure.
Good.
I just my story is, I don't know, about 4 or 5 years ago, I kind of got off a lot of medication. I was on 9 different medications and started taking essential oils to get off of that medicine that I've been on for 25 years. And after I'd done that, which, you know, probably about 2 years ago is when I started having my awakening. Just my whole life shifted. And it was making that effort to change.
Right.
You know, setting that intention to change, and it changed.
So
that was the start of my journey. Yeah.
Cool. And what was it? Was there a key word or a key moment that you went, aha, there's something up?
No, mine really, well, no, I had been in church for 25 years. So I was slowly awakening to the whole church crap, you know, probably over the last 9 years. So, I mean, it's not just one particular thing that just woke me up. It was a process, you know, of just not thinking things were right. And why do I feel this and nobody else feels this? And it was just like a long process. It was a journey, you know, it's a journey, and I'm still on my journey.
And I think that's pretty much all of us, because otherwise we wouldn't be here and watching, you know. And some call it an addiction, but if I'm addicted to knowing, you know, I'm addicted, you know, put me in treatment.
Yeah.
Because
mine really started with with dreams. That's really, dreams were what really motivated me. You know, I went from having kind of like fear-based dreams to having these dreams of things. You know, some things came true. It was things that was going to happen in some other dreams, and a lot of dreams were just about my personal journey, the what was going on with inside me. You know, it really didn't matter to anybody else, but it was confirmation of my growth, you know, but they were such vivid dreams and profound dreams, and, you know.
Yeah, I haven't really, well, I guess when my dad first passed away, what was it now, 13 years ago now, up until just a year ago, it was like he would come to me and reaffirm that, you know, he still, you know, existed, you know, he still exists. And I don't know how else to explain it other than that. But that was pretty much the only dreaming I ever had, was him coming to me in my dreams that I could remember anyway.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Until recently. And where I've had dreams like that word, you know, and then it sent me on this, it curtailed me into this, you know, and it's just like, wow, one word did it to me, you know. And but when I was younger, I used to have dreams of my future, and I'd wake up and my dad would tell me, or my mom would tell me, who is this person you're talking about? And I, you know, one time I woke up saying, Lisa, no, don't do it. Well, it was a girl that I got pregnant, and she ended up having an abortion.
Oh, no.
Yes. And my dad said, dude, who's that girl you're screaming Lisa? And at the time I was only like 16, 17 years old. And I didn't know Elisa, you know, and it was like 7 months, 8 months later when, you know, I met her, you know, and I was just a dumb kid. But I mean, I didn't have a decision in it of the abortion thing, but, you know, and I think that's all connected to the light and what we're, you know, calling God or source or whatever you want to call him or it, or, you know, and it feels so uncomfortable trying to describe the ineffable, I guess, you know what I mean? So when you put a label on it. And I think that's, you know, where we get in trouble, is putting labels on things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's all connected, and our dreams are probably the back, like putting a app in so it still works in the background, you know, and still works its magic, but it's doing it in the background. And I think that's what our dreams are pretty much, you know, and communication back to us, I suppose.
Yeah, I think it's a lot of communication back, because it, like I said, a lot of things that I could project it outward, like some of the dreams, project it outward and think this is like a grander scale. I'm telling you what's going to happen, but if I just put that within, and I can see it was all about me, you know, about my growth. But you know, I can think something's a collective, but it's not, it's for me. But then again, I'm part of the collective. So there's more than just me feeling that same way, you know?
Yes. And I think that's where our base understanding needs to come from, is that we are individual. Like we can probably think of ourselves as like the old Sybil analogy, where they're, you know.
That's what I was going to say. Go for it.
What was that?
That's exactly what I was going to say. Go for it. Finish.
No, go ahead.
You just blew my mind. Yeah. We have multi-personality disorder.
Yeah. And we're always arguing with ourselves, you know. And well, recently I've noticed, have you guys noticed that that's kind of dropped off, where the arguing and the name calling and everything? And maybe that's just our little group, I don't know, but I have kind of ventured into other channels, and you know, where you turn on, especially when the politic thing was going on heavy, where you turn on like the CNN feed or whatever, just to see what people are saying. And it's like, you're a black this, or you're a dumb this, or you know. And I haven't noticed that much lately. Maybe that's because we're buffered from the mainstream in our little group.
Probably, yeah.
What is your guys' opinion on that?
I think we get to a point where you don't want to hear it, so you click off of it and you find a little group that don't do that, and you kind of just weed out what not like-minded, you know. So you kind of find your group of people that you know, think similar to what you think, and the disagreements are not there. We may not always see things eye to eye because we all have our own opinions, perceptions, beliefs, but we all communicate and respect each other enough to, you know, be civil.
Yeah.
Right. And I'd like to remind anybody, if you want to join in on this conversation, just click that Zoom link that's in the hard chat below. You click off a live chat, and then I got it listed in the comments section. So if anybody wants to come on and talk with us, you know, you can join, and I'll promote you to panelist, and you can even share your compromising vacation photos from last year.
You're silly.
But yeah, the energy, or, you know, the collective, or whatever we want to call it, is ramping up, and I think it's kind of funny. I want to get you guys' opinion on this. How, like, the Nibiru information has died off a little bit, and all of a sudden the mud flood comes popping up in our reality, you know? And what's your guys' take on all that stuff?
I don't know anything about a mud flood.
I
Well,
never looked at that either. Too much.
What about
It's
you?
interesting. I mean, it's interesting, but, you know, I don't really have anything to comment about it.
Yeah, because
I think all is possible. I mean, we can't say it didn't happen. Can't say,
Right.
you know, but it's possible. Yeah, sure.
Yes,
Right.
I mean, it's interesting info as far as I know. I mean, it's something definitely to look into, but where it came from, like me kind of mentioned last night, it kind of seems to have come from out of left field, and
Yeah.
you know, and the theories that are going around still, and the things that they're connecting together, you know, with the mud flood. Well, is it really a flood? You know, it doesn't really. Some parts look like flood, some parts look like liquidation of the ground, but if it was liquidation, how did everything sink and still stay structurally sound after it, you know, re-solidified? It's, I don't know, there's a lot more to it, I think.
It's
But
odd. Yeah.
Was it supposed to be the flood of Noah, but they're calling it a mud flood?
No, they're saying there's been a cyclical, deliberate thing every couple hundred years, recently even, that washes away the adult population, and somehow the kids survive, and then that's pretty much the gist of it, right? They re-indoctrinate them with today's philosophy.
yeah, something like that. There
Yeah,
was
it's
somebody
pretty.
that related it to something about the Tunguska event or something like that, and possibly something like maybe a catastrophe caused by comet, and then caused major earthquakes, which, you know, that's kind of like I went to look at the Appalachians I was telling you about the other day, over the weekend, to look at, you know, does it look like possibly an earthquake happened and the mountain ranges kind of like flattened out because of an earth shaking?
Right, and you know, this leads me to. I just had a thought that because I have a buddy. You guys are probably aware of him, Australia Esoterica. He's Aaron. You know,
Yeah.
he's pretty much an astral. He's trying to start a business with it. You know, and actually show people how to, or teach people how to astral project. But he emailed me recently, and he said, I was told by an entity that our timeline, or the cyclical information that's going to be coming out recently, you know, soon, is maybe there to manifest said catastrophes or whatever, you know, to get us, our collective, in a mindset of believing it, you know, because obviously
Yeah, without us, there's no manifesting it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, and that
The
kind
mud
of,
flood would be part of that timeline thing, or the cycle thing too, you know, in a way, like the Mandela effect, like you know, even the cycle information we've been coming across, you know.
I call it the Messiah effect, because as we wake up, we see things differently, and then we change the world.
Right, and then if some nefarious force, or some force that is unnatural to the natural order of our existence, wants to steer us in a manner to drive us off the cliff, like Thelma and Louise, you know, then you know, they figure out how to do it. And you know, could everything that we've been experiencing recently be leading up to that cliff jump. You know what I mean? That's what you gotta ponder, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, they do like to try to drive us crazy, the powers that shouldn't be, but I just try not to focus on that because, well, it'll drive me crazy. It'll drive me over the cliff.
Or it'll keep you from your destination, right?
Keep me from my destination, and I am focused and zeroing in on that bullseye.
Amen, girl.
That's right.
Yep, yep.
I don't see nothing to my left. I don't see nothing to my right. I only see what is straight the fuck ahead.
You got Runkle vision?
Who was the other one saying green? Because I've been asking this question for a long time. Because Roy G. Biv, is green the middle gate? Did that? I know they lied to me and stole from me and took everything, but I also believe in my heart when it comes down to red light, yellow light, green light, go. I think they told us the truth in the little stories and in the little poems and the games. And I mean, I don't know. I feel drawn because the land of reverse, that, all the aliens are green and there's something to the rainbow as far as that being the middle path. You know what I mean? When you do go into that light, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the heart chakra's in the center of the person. So that'd be green light. And
I agree.
And isn't that the key to the whole mystery right now? The mystery I'm trying to solve anyway, the divine union, is you gotta figure out what the center of all things are. And I think it inevitably ends at our heart and begins at our mind. So I mean, and then when them two are coupled, then then you're golden.
Yes.
And that reminds me of the golden goose, the goose that laid the golden egg.
Yes.
Phil so eloquently described it to me where, the goose is laying golden eggs, and what happens to the goose when you try to figure out why? You kill the damn goose, man.
Well, I guess you gotta get past the part where, the government's trying to kill me to the part that, well, they're trying to save me. Because I think, honestly, this debt raising crap's really just gonna play right into the book. Like it said, there's gonna come a day that you're gonna forgive their debts and their lies and their trespasses, and then you're gonna get it all back just like Job did.
Mm-hmm.
I just see the more, like Richie, don't watch the news, get rid of your television, and I've said that for a long time, television, but I still go on there, and our symbol's a peacock, on these main channels of our news. And if you really look what a peacock's talking about, because, from my Bible, it's always had true church, local church, and you start to understand. And well, then when you look up the symbol for the peacock, it talks about the spiritual church. They knew all along. They write all roads lead back to Rome. There's a reason all these are called channels and mainstream. And these words, it proves every bit it's God's word, because no matter which way you go, this word's going to lead you. But it's going to take something harder to shake these others. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everybody's going to make it.
I believe everybody's going to make it. The
Bible says not one gets lost, not one.
Exactly. Few will be chosen and few will enter into the kingdom. It's talking about the elect of this day. That's talking about this earth, the elect now, the few that are chosen, like Chris Cornell. You tell me that man knew all these things and he went and hung himself. Man, he's laying up on a beach island somewhere. I just don't.
Right.
Interesting perspective.
Yeah. I mean, I just look at it both ways. Ever since I had the Bible, it says, he's a terrible God. He's an awesome God. That's why I fell in with Miles so well, because the order and chaos, because I know judgment means order and ordinance and justice and righteousness, the same way as it says in the book that appalling and horrible thing will happen on the land. And then with the study Bible, say a wonderful and appalling, horrible thing happened in the land. So it was wrote for both sides. You can't lose the war when you're the good guy, because it says there's a time for a peace, there's a time for war. I'm just hoping that half the time. The only thing I'm stuck, because we'll know war no more. And I think that's the God we got to get rid of, is the division God, the God of war, because in that world it's war, and in this world it's raw.
Well, the war, the way I see it, is it's as within, so without.
Amen.
And it's as above, so below. So the war is within, between what is right, what is wrong. Is it right to keep a secret? Is it wrong to keep a secret? Is it right to lie? Is it wrong to lie? And then as we're all trying to figure it out, it happens outside of us.
Well, then I've come to the conclusion that one that you're standing there reading the story about Cain and Abel. If you really look up what Cain and what Abel means,
go there.
You are half Cain and you are half Abel. There's a man inside and there's a man outside, you know, and one's trying to keep
right, brain.
Without the dualistic, there would be no creation.
Amen there.
It takes two rubbing sticks to make fire.
And I'm going to say Cain, crippled. Abel, not crippled. So if you choose wrong over right, you're Cain, and which means you're crippled or disabled.
Warrior too.
I say tomato, you say tomato.
Right. Well, able, you think about the word able. I'm able and willing, you know. I mean, I'm able to do it. I have the inside me, I have the able part.
Yes. Don't slew Abel, man. Don't slew Abel.
And just until recently, I thought that if you're stuck on the negative or the I don't know, they're coming to get us, hooray, that sort of mentality, that I thought that was the wrong way. But I asked my mentor Phil about it, because it seems like you can bounce a question off that guy and get an answer if he's got it. Otherwise, if he doesn't know, he's not like the rest of us, where we'll say I think, or I think this, or I think that. He'll tell you if he thinks he knows, and he says that as long as that path gets you to where you got to go, it doesn't matter what path you take. You could take the negative, and think everybody's going to kill you. As long as you get to the same destination, what does it matter? Absolutely. I was under the assumption that if you take that fork in the road and you go down that negative path, you got to go all the way back to where you made that turn, and then go back down the true, but all roads lead to Rome, like Jerry just said.
I'm sorry, and that's the bitter part, because after being lied, stolen to, and kicked in the teeth, and then you got to forgive them, and if you can't forgive, you can't be forgiven.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I have a more positive spin on the whole all roads lead to Rome thing. I say all roads lead to home. Home,
yeah, mainstream. That's what I've said for a couple of years. Channels lead back to mainstream, because if you really look what the fox means, we've been foxed. And when you fox a boot, you mend the dead skins back together. You know how you repair it. It's the same reason like a verb and a noun, with Greek and Hebrew, and because Jesus plainly said he was speaking to the Greek, and
that's funny, because we were talking about that last night, how the Hebrew alphabet and their letters are like in the form of verbs and nouns. The letters are instead of their whole words, and it's pretty wild.
That were the terrible and awesome,
Intent is in the letter, not in the word.
Right. Right.
And that's where, if you read in Genesis, it'll say that you're in God's awesome place, or you can read the study Bible and it says you're in God's dreadful place. Right there's your heaven and hell inside. Yep. It's not the life you was given; it's the way you choose to live your life.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
Yes.
So, Deborah, you turned your Awakening the essential oils. What do? You do that now as a business and stuff, or?
Yeah, I do. I make chakra oils. I use my intuition to kind of tune into what a person needs to help deal with their shadow issues. I mean, we talk about changing the world, wanting a better place, but it all starts within us. We can't change the world if we don't change ourselves.
So true, so true. And it's got to start somewhere, right?
Absolutely. But no, I mix up a chakra oil that I do by intuition, and it helps work out blockages. I mean, you have to be willing to do the work, but this is just a tool to help you. I mean, if you're not willing to do the work, it's not going to help.
That's right.
You know,
The Bible says you got to put your hands forth. I mean,
Yeah.
unless you do it, you know.
absolutely. I mean, it's a tool. Everything's a tool to help us in this journey.
That's like
Right.
this tree. Some people use it to look up porn, and then there's people like us that just use it for good.
Yeah,
That's
well,
right.
that's true. Yeah.
We choose Abel.
Abel, amen.
I choose cable.
Okay.
Oh,
That's all right. I got ESPN.
Yep. Yeah, I got ESPN, my mama said. I told you, Bobby, about that foosball. That's one of my all-time favorite movies. That one, you know, was Adam Sandler and Bobby Boucher. What was it? Waterboy. Waterboy. You know, there's messages in everything, even the goofiest
Yeah.
stuff.
Everything. It's unbelievable. You can go back and watch something you've seen, you know, 10 or 20 times prior and never got it. And you can go back now and it's like, it's in our face. It's so in your face.
Yes,
Well-
like that. What's that Lost show? That series Lost, where that number always pops up. What it's is it 108 or something like that? I can't remember. Are you still with us, Eric?
Oh yeah.
You still working?
Yeah, I was just looking, no tickets, so I'm good.
Cool.
I don't watch Lost, so I can't help you.
Neither have I. I've seen all the videos that are listed on YouTube for it.
I try to, if I watch anything that has to do with a TV show now, it has to be something that like really, there's no like predetermined crap that they can really put into it, like Worst Cooks of America or Gordon Ramsay, you know, like what are they really going to Illuminati that with?
Right.
I just watch things like Through the Wormhole and Great British Bake Off.
Yeah. What is the Through the Wormhole? What is that? A YouTube channel or?
No, Through the Wormhole is, what's his name, Mike? Morgan Freeman does it.
Oh yeah.
At the beginning, he's talking about Through the Wormhole. It is the little intro thing. And then the camera shoots into the pupil of his eye because that's the wormhole, guys. That's
Well, yeah. I agree with that. That's the window to our soul. It's always been said that. And yeah,
That's where,
in the Bible.
that's where they have to tell you the truth and put it out there, and they put it out there in ways that nobody gets except
I
for the
watched
few.
that shit. I caught it. I was like, oh my God. It was like a couple of days ago, and I'm covered in goosebumps right now. That I've been watching this show for years, and it shot into his eye, and I was like, what?
It's amazing as you wake up and you go back and you happen to see something that you used to watch or you haven't seen in a long time or music, and you're like,
Yeah.
holy, that has a whole different meaning to it. Was that guy really that awake, or you know?
Yeah, that's the
kinda
way
got
I
into that
am,
yesterday.
Eric. Yeah.
Oh,
I
he's
feel the
awake.
same way, Eric. It's like you go back and you know, especially the old rock and roll, you know, which I grew up with, and you know, and you didn't get nothing. You get nothing out of these words back then, and you can go back now and think, oh my gosh, you know.
Right?
it was like you're singing a song and it's totally different from what it
blows
really is.
your mind.
Hey,
I'm
there-
always sending people clips, you know, of music, and they're probably thinking, what is wrong with this chick, you know? But
Send them to me. I'll know what you mean.
Them oils are going to her head, I think.
yeah, really. I do sniff oil, so I mean that could happen.
Hey, there's an old movie called Phantom. We found it back on the VHS, and if you watch it, it's where they kill the flesh. I mean, it's like a scary movie, but you know they're trying to kill this thing. But back then didn't realize it. But if you look at it, they got to spray this magic water on there to kill, and they can't just kill the main flesh dude. They got to get all flesh. And when it comes to the end of the movie, they're spraying this stuff. And I bet, you know, I haven't looked back, but I bet it's probably the same chemical they're really spraying on us off that movie.
Wow.
It's
yeah.
crazy. But I guess, you
Well,
know,
we are
it goes back to the
we are in
wizard.
the flesh to overcome it.
You know, where you're trying to kill the bad wits but save the good wits at the same time. So it really is a trademark, a trade off.
Yeah.
I want to get you guys' opinion on that Wizard of Oz thing. Now, do you remember a gun being in the Scarecrow's hand? I watched that movie a million times when I was a kid.
What you talking about, Willis?
Gun.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Right.
at the end of the movie, yes.
When they're going to go get the witch and get the dog and Dorothy back, right?
Yeah, he had a gun.
From the beginning.
Yeah, as a child, he had a gun because he was afraid of the monkeys and stuff. He was trying to defend himself and
Yeah, but where the hell did Scarecrow get a gun?
Yeah, I don't know. I never put two and two together on that, but he had a gun. Yes.
I grew up with that movie in my reality every freaking Thanksgiving. That's when it's played, right?
Well, you got paid the home phone, right?
I don't remember when it played, but it used to come on every year because I know all the kids in the neighborhood would come to our house and we'd all, pile up and watch it. But I don't remember a gun.
Neither do I.
Is it?
I don't even remember that the lion had two implements or the Tin Man had two weapons. Because the Tin Man has the axe and the what was it, the sledgehammer? I think.
I just remember the axe.
I remember the axe.
Axe and a sledgehammer?
Yeah, he has two in his hand, and the lion has a net and something else too. I can't remember what the other one was, but I only remember each of them having one, and I don't remember what the Scarecrow had at the beginning. But that's the whole timeline thing too. If you really want to think about it, is that why it's being messed with, or is that just a clue to us? For individual, like in the Star Wars thing with C-3PO having a silver leg, I never remember that. He was all gold.
Yeah,
Right.
he was all gold. That
was
didn't
a
happen in
silver
my
leg.
reality.
Yeah, that was annoying. That silver leg. I was like, wrong.
Wasn't it like half his leg was silver first, and now the new one is like his
Oh,
whole
that's
leg?
what They tore him apart, and he was in that spot, and Chewbacca went in there looking for parts. Remember, he had him in his backpack thing, and he brought him out all in pieces.
Yeah, I remember that's how he got separated at the stomach area.
Right, and I wonder if something I missed then, and he really just that part because he couldn't find that part of his leg when he put him back together.
Well, what about the jokes we used to talk about? Depend diapers.
Oh, I know.
And now there's no S on the end of it. Come on.
Yeah, that was a joke around the house. So I'd tell all it all depends,
Yeah, right.
That was
All depend.
Because you can't do that now. You end a joke with a non-plural meaning or a non-verb meaning. Like it depend. It just depend. It don't sound right.
I never got stuck on that stuff. It was more the fact, why did that change? You know what I mean? Now I understand it's not a free breeze. We're with the vampire. We're bearing.
Yeah, I got the book actually behind me up in my thing right here. I never read it, obviously, because I've never read one book except for the one that I talk about all the time. But the interview with a vampire instead of interview with the vampire.
Yeah.
A vampire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
a vampire.
I agree, but the book now says the.
Yeah, I agree with Jerry and stuff.
I'll
Like
be right back.
I've seen people in places like you can talk for days, and I've seen people in different channels that like do nothing but come up with interrupt people's live streams to come up with in the chat like examples of Mandela. Like you can sit there and focus on all that, but like Jerry said, I was always like, okay, why is this? Why am I seeing this? Why are others not seeing it?
Why are they saying stuff in the Bible changed? Because now you don't come off of your house to get your stuff, and now it's like that's really important.
Yeah, Jerry, you're a good Bible reference. The wineskins thing in the bottles. I mean,
see, Steve, that's why I can't tell you because my Bible had the word switches in it. But what I'm going to tell you is weird. My Bible put the easy words like what a violin really meant, or a guitar, what it really meant. The word the old English used was always in the field in the middle. So you had to look over there, but I could read mine real easy, you know what I mean? Because it's like, the violin, the guitar, because it put the word there, but then it also gave the King James version of what that word was. But the weird part was pennies was out in the field and then wineskins was in the words that people say have changed are the Like, you know, you'd think penny would be the easy word to read in my Bible, but now it's in the field. So it seems like the ones that they say switch are still in mine, you know.
Right.
Because I understood a long time ago that I am the wineskin, you know.
Yeah, we are the wineskin. I want to go back to you said something about not going down into your house to get anything, to just
come off your house to get your stuff, to get what it said. I think you get your doings.
So you said that changed, that it went from don't go down into your house and get your stuff to get your stuff?
It just changed from doings to stuff.
Huh.
What they say, you know what I mean, in it. You know, I'm not going to lie to myself.
Is it the word stuff?
Yeah, stuff's in there. It says
that doesn't sound right away. It doesn't sound right.
Yeah. Why would you use stuff? I mean, well,
I remember is you don't come down to get your doings, you know, your things, your stuff, your
belongings. Don't get your belongings. Take it with you when you go.
Exactly.
Next thing you know, the Bible's going to have a pound symbol in front of it. Oh, excuse me, hashtag.
Good one. There's an IT guy's introspective.
Well, I trust my father enough that when I go to read my book, I know it's going to be right. That, you know.
Yes.
Yeah, none of it really matters in the end. It's like the flat Earth debate, you know. I mean, even if it is true, you know, does it really matter? Because we're all stuck in this reality together, you know.
Well, you think about the word taken, or were you taken by what he said? You know what I mean? Where you were taken. So I remember sitting at the edge of the bed going, holy shit, that makes so much more sense. You know, my wheels were spun. I felt like I was in that whirlwind.
Right.
Like the whole one disappears and one's left standing still.
Yeah, it's happening now. Exactly. That's the whole thing of it. The golden box that, you know, that God's people wouldn't worship, that you're holding in your hand, you know what I mean? The fire that God's people don't burn. They'll be given a new name. You know, all these people made up these new names, put in this box, you know, taken by what was said. You were changed. You were caught up in the cloud. You were caught up in thought. That's why you got them little icons you put beside your thing where it was always a thought. You remember your old Kodak pictures, you put the little sticky thing, then you write your thought in that cloud. I mean,
yeah, the comic book excerpt for your speech or whatever, right?
I ain't saying there ain't going to be a physical rapture, but I'm just telling you this is people making their names up, putting it in this box. I've
expanded the cloud thought because the internet is the cloud.
Yeah,
right.
And it's the Antichrist all in the same.
And right now we are caught up together in the cloud. Right now.
In the web. And, you know, the World Wide Web, you put that on its side and it's 333, or, you know, you could put it all together and it makes the three triangles too.
Well, that's the X too, you know, because I watch it on the news, you know, the ribbon, they breaking the seals right in front of us. I just can't figure out which one we on. I think in that XXX put us to 6. But then I think about the angel ate the scroll and it was, you know, sweet like honey, because a lot of people are getting to that point in their life where they're seeing the truth ain't exactly what they thought it was going to be. Hard to digest.
I think that thought right there is everybody's on a different seal as far as their individual journey, and maybe in the physical, you're probably right there that we're on some sort of awakening train that is at a certain stop.
If those days were not shortened for the elect's sake, you know, when it says the Spirit of God will be poured out upon all flesh, well, it all goes right back to that movie, the Phantom, you know what I mean? It really should have said the Spirit of God would be sprayed out on all flesh. You know, it's a trade, you know what I mean? I give you the knowledge, you losing this, you know what I mean? But at the end, we're all going to win. We're all going to wake up. We're all going to be saved. No man left behind.
Eventually, they may take another 3 or 4 cycles, but eventually, you know, everyone will get there.
I think this is the
That's
promise.
the way I feel, Eric. I think we will all be saved. Some may just take a little longer.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's where they'll be felt like grasshoppers again. God going to do something, pull that curtain back, and people are going to realize where they really live. And they're going to be, they're going to feel so damn small, they ain't going to care about their phone or their video game, you know, because all you're going to be worried about is, you know.
Recently, I've been on my kids about playing video games, but I think it's part of the betterment of our youth's mind, and you know, in a digital age or a technocratic age, if you follow me on that.
Yeah, I agree. I hope Obama's right. This is the generation that stops smoking. Because somebody said that in there in one of the chats the other day about, well, I hope this talk ain't about building something or creating something, you know, talking about building a foundation. Well, I really give two craps about me. It's my children that I want to leave, you know what I mean? If I have to go and be a sacrifice and whatever, I just know that my kids and all, you know, all others are going to grow up in a world that's not dysfunctional. That's heaven, but run like hell.
Well, then we need to have a sturdy foundation, according to that pesky little book we call the Bible.
Yep. But I think they already built it. That's what the masons and all the architects and the carpenters, they already know all this.
Foundation from within.
Well, yeah, I agree. That's the master.
Well, that's building or gathering up the info or the clay to build your bricks, to make to build your pyramid, to give things measure or continents, and then the rest is, as they say, history.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful with words too, because every time I read my book and I look in there in the study part, Israel means history. So, you know, when all these pieces come together and all these...
Israel means history. What? Continue.
Well, I ain't saying that, Hunter. I don't want to, you know what I mean? I just see history all the time when it's beside Israel. You know what I mean?
Or the word Jew, you know, how it's hated when it's actually a gem, you know?
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why Bummer said, you know, well, it's a good history.
Jew-L.
Ma'am.
What did you say, Muty?
Jew-L. L as in God. Jew-L.
Oh, like at the beginning of Elohim?
Yes.
Yes. And that's another thing, that ancient Atlantis story, how I've, you know, look at it now, and I see it as an allegory for our mind, you know, for our brains. And you can pick out things like that when you get certain information in your mind. And I don't think it's that easy to be steered in a way that isn't the true path to the solid truth, which is, you know, there's, you know, we've been led to believe in the past that your truth is your truth, my truth is my truth, and you know, we have to live with that, where we have to realize that truth is freaking severe on both ends of the spectrum, you know.
And I agree. I think that's why Jesus said he's the truth, the way, and life. You know what I mean? From what I read in my book, religion is a way of life, which we're all looking for, a balanced life where we can all live here together in harmony. And
we got Blue Star. Blue Star is talking about when Satan shows up with his little buddies, they transform themselves into anyone that will persuade you on an individual basis, that will convince one it is an angel of light. That's true, but I mean, I think inside of every one of us, we have the ability to discern what is true and what is not. Absolutely. And usually you can determine that on a base level. Are they asking for anything in return?
Yeah.
When the kingdom comes, there'll be no sign. You won't see it. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a visual thing. It's going to be a spiritual war. You know, it's going to be a spiritual thing.
In my opinion on that now is there's a concerted effort on some malevolent force that is trying to circumvent the natural order of things. So what I mean by that is I think there is a natural cycle to our existence, just like we were born, we live, and we die, just like everything in our existence. And if that's the case, then maybe the whole CERN issue, the whole chemtrail issue, it ties right into the whole building a tower to get to heaven, you know, to circumvent the natural. You know, I don't know. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
That brings me to that point about AI in the Bible, you know, where was it Joshua, and that's another name for Jesus. Didn't he destroy AI? But see, when you mean destroy, that don't always mean, you know, maybe we won in a good way. You know, maybe we got rid of it, but I don't think we did. We kept the technology because it said we are to have dominion over the whole earth, and that's you know, the empire. Like I said before, you can read the Bible and say, oh God, there's a day coming, they're gonna throw all their gold and silver in the street, or was that what the book told us to do? You know, and we already did that, and we built these empires and streets and homes and cities, you know what I mean? But like you say, it's a cycle too, you know, but there is a war to be won. You know, eventually we're going to win. We're going to, like Jesus said, we're going to do better and greater things. And I think we are going to win this time.
I think we've already won. It's just has to manifest in the physical. We've already won in the spiritual, in the ether. And I think it just has to manifest here.
Well, make it quicker.
Yeah.
You got a pill for that?
But if I could, I would.
Oh, speaking of pills, when Jerry said something earlier about the green being the middle way, and that kind of sparked something that I used to say, and I said to people when they were all like on the Matrix movie and take the blue pill or the red pill, I'm like, why you got to choose a side? Why not combine it and take the green?
Nice.
Or red and blue make purple.
I was just going to say that. You stole my thunder.
Damn it. There goes that theory.
Well, purple is the crown chakra, so it still makes sense, and it's still up the center.
That's the bottom of the rainbow.
That's supposedly what my had somebody do a reading on me and an aura check, and suppose that's what my aura is. I got a purple aura around me.
I got a huge golden aura, apparently.
I got a huge dark cloud over me.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It was
Well, we're going to displace that cloud.
Steve?
What was that, Deborah?
I said there's lightning and thunder in it too, isn't it?
Oh, you know that. And I'm hearing the thunder way before I see the flash, I'll tell you.
But before we get too far past the pill comment that you made, Steve, I
didn't make it, Eric did.
Oh, whoever did. Yeah, that's right. Well, you said, is there a pill for that?
Oh, okay, yep.
Yeah, and I say, no, not the pill. Let's try the cocoa that Jen Fisher brought to our attention in my video a couple of nights ago.
Cocoa, elaborate, please.
Cocoa. There are several different kinds of cocoa that they took it out of the chocolate they sell us, and they sell it separately. And if you get this name brand, then it will like make you really giddy with joy. If you get this one, it'll really give you super downloads, which will speed the process, which is what we were talking about. I will go and put it in this live chat again so that everybody can get some. Are
you familiar with that, Deborah?
No, I'm not. Working on yourself and on your shadow issues will get you there, or get us there faster.
This will help that. It helps it along.
I've heard something that you say that, Rainbow, about the chocolate. remember seeing something about that information, but then never really following up on it.
Yeah.
If you have a product that, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm going to put it in the chat.
Maybe if we mix some monoatomic gold and some ormus and some choca, we could just forget it all and it'll come to us. It'll be the pill to end all pills.
You actually kind of read my mind. That's the first thing I thought of is mixing it with the monatomic.
I knew that's where you were going to go with that. That's why I said that, dude.
Right. There you go.
No, because me and Eric and I talked about that monatomic after the show last night. Him and I were on, I think, on Zoom for another, hour and a half after we ended that live stream last night.
Yeah.
It was a long time, which, I have no qualms with that. And that's, like I said, we have to do this during the day so I can get Runky Monkey on here because he feels left out.
Sorry, my birds got me on first shift. I'm a son of the morning.
Yeah, we all are. And isn't that amazing that, how everybody wants to knock the light, and, there's a certain faction out there that says, don't go to the light when you are the light. It's kind of,
Don't go into yourself. Don't go into yourself.
But well, how can I not go to the light when everything else is dark? You know,
Exactly.
it's like a moth to a flame, right?
Who says there's anything wrong with the dark though?
Well,
that sometimes darkness will show you the light. You know that song.
Yeah. You
right.
gotta
It's like the shadow is just the privation of light. You know, that's pretty much all it is. It's just it's something in the way of it. You know, and it's doesn't mean it's wrong.
No, it doesn't.
Character of the light. You know, if you have light, then it's gonna be you're gonna have the shadow, the opposite.
I do wonder why everything is went LED, like boom. You know how TVs went LED. They went from liquid crystal display to instantly to LED, and you know, we kind of skipped over the plasma stage TVs because they were too heavy or whatever the case may be, or too expensive. But I mean, it seems like everything seems to follow the same pattern of light if you really think about it. You know.
Plasma kind of got skipped because it was too costly for shipment and, you know, too much damaged parts. So the corporate side of things, it wasn't cost effective for them. But the other side of your question, no idea.
Yeah, like the sun's the light from the sun seems to be white now, where it used to be golden, and now our lighting for like our street lights are white now, you know, or you're driving down the highway and then freaking blue lights that blind the shit out of you, and you wonder why the hell would they put those in cars? Because it makes it so the other person can't see. You know. So that's one thing I was kind of like, what the hell is this about, you know? And then you go to get a regular light bulb nowadays, and it costs more than the freaking LED bulbs.
Right.
Yeah,
And they're crap too. They ain't very bright. It's like I got 5 of them in the light up there, and it still ain't. It just seems dark to me. I don't know.
And Eric said something last night after that live stream about how the LED bulb is propagated through the technology where it's a square. You know, it's like a hexagon pattern sometimes. You know, and that'll lead you to the whole sun simulator thing, which. Yeah, I'm not a believer in. Don't, you know, and it really doesn't matter if you believe it or not, you know, and not to me it doesn't anyway, but, you know, I think it's just
see our own sun.
I think the whole sun simulator thing is an attack on our soul in essence, because the soul is our sun, you know, and it's our Philip just made a comment on Facebook. Paula's moonlighting over here. She's muting us so she can go on Facebook.
Hey, I'm not muted right now. I'm trying to get Max Vision in here.
She's here.
Max Vision.
Max. We like Max.
There we go.
He's the same believer that on earth as it is in heaven, that eventually the kingdom be here. We don't have to fly through some magic hole to get away from this place.
Right. That's the newest Damon T. Berry video that he put out today, was how aliens are speaking to us through the crop circles and telling us that there's portals through the sun, which very well could be. You know, and maybe that is how or why there are cycles, is to give us a certain set of time to develop our technology to so we don't overrun our planet like a bunch of cockroaches in the bottom of a stove. You know what I mean? To contaminate everything, because that's pretty much what our society has become. I mean, you go to that Atlantic trash barge. The thing's as big as Connecticut. You know, it's freaking plastic floating in the ocean.
Yep.
You know, well, how can you look at something like that and think we're not doing anything to the planet that's negative? You know, that's retarded to even think that. You know, okay, it's okay to have all that plant, like George Carlin used to say.
Dolphins and animals eat it and it kills them.
Yep.
Right.
And then they tell you recycle to save the planet and the animals. And then all the things that they choke on, the plastic bags and the little plastic things that go around 6-packs, they just want you to throw away. I put it in the recycle and they can kiss my ass.
They think you a hog because you get in your car and there's a bunch of trash on the passenger floorboard and you got to stomp it down to get in the car. You know?
Oh dear God!
But
Sounds like my car.
but I'm not the one that rides down the road and throws the KFC bag out the window, and then the next man hits it, and then all the lids and all the styrofoam and all the papers and everything, and then the ditch looks like, you know what I mean? This is where I went back to, you know, with my Bible, you know, it said awesome God, terrible God, but in the beginning, God had no man to till the land. Well, in mine, it says there was no man to dress the land. So the one, you know, well, that
He's
takes
got a
you
Bible
away.
that's got strong concordance, like built right into it.
I have one of those, but I haven't checked it out in a while.
The word switches in it. Yeah. Well, you know, I think it came more from it's originally 1611, rewrote 1904 or something, 1909. And then rewrote in no, what was it? Yeah, 1900 something, and then 1948 it was that one came from. But either way, if you're tilling the land, you're a slave. But if you're dressing the land, then all you're doing is keeping your home beautiful. And I have no problem, you know, my wife out there planting tulips and, you know, mowing the grass and keeping my yard nice, you know.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm a full believer in, if you're trying to read and understand your Bible, go get yourself an exhaustive concordance.
Amen. Yeah.
Or just get yourself a fill.
Well, if you don't understand the Bible, get yourself a fill. But
Right.
you
You know, that's what I say. All of these Planet X channels, they can all have their physicists because, you know, we got Phil.
well, you know, it's like everybody keeps using, and I've seen you do it, the etymology page.
Yep.
They hacked the shit out of that over this past year, and it's nothing like it used to be. So that's why I am now pushing the exhaustive Bible concordance.
Or you know, the etymology thing, you just break the word down even further, where you go to
etymology doesn't do it that well anymore. It used to be way better.
Right. I mean, certain sites don't, but I mean, I found that when I first started looking up words, you could type the whole word in and it would break it down for you. Now you have to break down the word and figure out each section of the word, what it means for yourself. You can't just enter the whole word because it'll say no match, you know?
Right.
Like you said, L is in you know, reference to high or angel or God or divine, you know.
Yeah.
And I never knew that stuff before. Like, you know, like who did we lose? Oh, Eric. Like I never thought of words as being swords, you know, the whole acronym or whatever that setup is, you know. Until I found, you know, the information of the black hole sun in Orion. And it seems like, did you guys see that recent video Secure Team put out about where it shows that light going by Orion, or right, you know, below his feet or whatever? It's like a spaceship or something, you know, that goes by super fast. Some backyard astronomer had it on video.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah, but I mean, in our physical, it seems that stuff like that presents itself and is just pushed away under the rug now, because I think in essence, we all understand that there are other beings. There has to be. I mean, come on.
Yes.
I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
there has to be. It's like thinking there's no bugs in your backyard because you got a bug zapper, you know, when all you're doing is attracting them, you know.
Well, that's where, you know, a third of man fell, you know, people looking for this other third, you know, or whatever, but you are a third, you know what I mean? You're good, you're bad, you're ugly, or, you know what I mean?
Oh, wow,
good.
I like that. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I
You like him calling me ugly? What?
I never saw it that way. I like it.
Well, you start understanding, that, well, you know, because I throw it in the comments, well, nothing's changed in all these years. We still think the women of the flesh are beautiful. And that all I'm really saying is, people, you are the fallen ones. You know what I mean? If you really think about what it's telling you.
Oh, wow. Miles. Okay, Miles just put this is why I love this guy. He put this super, recently I came across, I don't know what's his name is. His name is Herschel, Wayne Herschel. And he's died and seen the light, you know, and came back, and it sent him on the path that we're all on to figure out where heaven is or what it's all about, what our lives are about. Well, that guy points to all of this information that, you know, we all see in different ways, but his information points to the A in the sky, which is the Taurus, you know, the bull in heaven, you know, Miles just said that L's symbol is the Aleph in Hebrew, the first letter for a bull's head. And then he said even the letter A, and this is what got my attention, because Runk and I and a couple other people were talking about how A was dropped off of ether, you know, and how it's not used anymore. And, you know, you could write that off as because, you know, it's just an old world word or this or that. It's like thee or thy but the fact is that it may point to the physical spot where maybe Shangri-La is or Shambhala, you know. So I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, in Hebrew, the only thing that's coming to my mind to comment on is in Hebrew, they say that I am the Aleph and the Tav.
The Aleph and the what?
Tav, T-A-V.
And what's that?
Well, the beginning and the end, you know, the first and the last.
The Alpha and the Omega. And that makes the sense too, because Alpha, A, without the Alpha and Omega, you got no beginning or end, because you got no start or, you know, no point of contact. Which
and they worship the bull first, so there's that. Yeah.
And then Brandy asks, what about the black hole painted on the bull on the ancient painting on the ceiling? Look up. What does that mean?
I would have to see the picture.
I will give you the horns.
Take the bull by the horns, yeah.
Miles also says Alpha and Omega, beginning and the end time, or Saturn or Kronos. Now, that grabbed my attention because today in that Damon T. Berry, you know, I don't believe the dude's half-cocked at all. I believe that he's had some divine interception or introception or whatever you want to call it. And I don't know why it differs so much from Phil's point where, you know, but the point is that he's got the same type of, I don't know what you want to call it, the essence of knowing or like once the light is shown upon your mind or your psyche, you see things that others do not, you know, and that's what I think the ancient alien things about and what an angel actually is when you're on Earth and you become enlightened to a point to where you see. But my point is that he said in that video today that Saturn controls Jupiter and the outside planets, where the sun controls the inner planets, the rocky planets. Which is like, wow, because if you look at Jupiter right now, where it's going to be, you know, this next January, you can see when they're right next to each other how Jupiter leans towards Saturn, and it's off its kilter from the rest of the planets. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was like, wow, yeah, and it could be some portal alignment or some time thing, and you know.
Well, that's what they're for, right? I mean, that's for times and seasons, and
that's right. Bring it.
You know, it tells the story. I said, you know, a long time they ain't weighing money on that scale in the sky.
That's right. They're not weighing money. They're weighing your heart.
Yep. That's what I said about the man. Well, I can't remember the whole, you know, but the man had 5 talents and he come back with 5. He went and saved 5 people. The one that didn't use his gift that God gave him hid his talent, his gift in the dirt. You know what I mean? He didn't save nobody.
Yep.
See, I'm glad I never really read all of that stuff or never even, you know, gave it my attention, because every time I hear people talk about the intricacies of the Bible, and I'm not saying you're bad or wrong for it. I'm just saying, to me, I see when you talk about the numbers, the number 5, the number 7, the number 12, the number 13, when I see those numbers, I inherently think the bigger, you know, the allegorical meaning of it, you know, because I'm not, I don't know if you want to call it indoctrinated, but, you know, or indogmated or whatever you want to see it as. But you know what I'm getting at, Jerry?
Right. I mean, you're trying to figure out the sequence, the code, because I think there is a code we can break that, you know, because the earth cries for our blood, you know, because of the supposedly first killing, but I don't think that's really what it's talking about. But
well, the blood is crying out, saying, I was slain,
Right. I thought it said the earth was crying out.
Hey, I ain't been awake very long. Bite me.
I ain't been awake very long.
Because he killed Cain, or he killed Abel, that the earth was crying out for his brother's blood. So that we're stuck in this. That's our curse. That's what the elite are trying to break. Shorten the days. They're trying to break that cycle, that curse, so we can inherit our promised land.
That's right.
Yeah, or Miles chimes in. He's always got to give me the bluntness of the situation. You know how Phil says if you die before you die, when you die, you don't die, and then he always refers to himself as not human. Well, Miles just put in sweet short word undead.
Undead.
Right. Well, yeah, but at the same time, in the Book of Thomas, and even in the Bible, it says that we are dead. We're in hell, Sheol, school.
Yeah.
So we are,
Right.
and what we're striving for is life and having life more abundantly.
Well, that's why I say that people wear gold chains around their neck proudly. They don't even realize the key for the bottomless pit to let you the hell out, not throw you in. You'd want to walk around with that proud gold chain around your neck.
Right, and I didn't mean anything negative by what I just said. I didn't elaborate on his previous comment, which means to break free from the cycles, to be free of time, no more births and no more deaths, immortality, or short undead. Yeah, so makes total sense. And yeah, I'd rather walk around undead than no, actually, I'm going to back that up. I'm going to back my truck up here and say, I enjoy being emotional. I enjoy crying. I enjoy being happy. I enjoy breathing. I enjoy farting. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I just don't like standing in my own fart cloud.
That's why I was joking about. You smell that? Y'all smell that?
Yeah.
Of course you don't.
It looks like Deborah's got something to say. What do you got to say, Deborah?
Well, I was thinking, but that's what makes us genuine. That's what makes us who we are and why we're here at this particular moment in time is our emotions.
Exactly.
The love, we can get so emotional about something, and then at the drop of the hat, we can cry, and the anger, the love, but we have to find that balance in it. But it's those people that have that quality, because not everybody has it. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't give a crap about nobody and they'll never. That's just the way they are. So to me, that's just my opinion. It's the ones that are emotional and have feeling and have love, that are genuine people that are here to do a job. And I've always felt like, I can't say always, I'll take that back. For the last few years that I'm here for a mission, I could say my whole life has always seemed weird, not like everybody else's, but the last, few years is like I'm on a mission. Don't quite know what it is. I have an idea, but I'm here. But yeah, I mean, I wasn't emotional, but I could go either way. It's just the way you looked at me or whatever. But
I'm going to rename our podcast.
That.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, it was just balancing that and finding my center in my heart. That changed everything. And I think that's why we're genuine people. We're authentic. That's what makes us authentic.
I want to look closer at the word genuine, Genesis, generation, you, and wine, the best wine at the wedding.
Right.
That's good. Yeah.
It goes right hand in hand with the whole thought thing. The thought is you and God short of thought. What's in the word is what it should be the word, and that's kind of simplistic in view. But I mean, if you really think about it, even through the changing of the guard of the word and the letters and whatever. It seems like it seeps its way through all language, and even from I bet you even from a guy who's or a person who has a bilingual background or a understanding of several languages, you know, a true understanding, can pick that out and, you know, and show people that. And that's, I think, what we need to realize is that, you know, we all seem different. And I think that's what makes us all beautiful in our individual ways.
Yeah.
And like Deborah said, and we are the freaking we are the ark of the covenant in essence, that, and we all have to come together in that ark and float above the rest of the nonsense and show the way. And I'm going to read from I'm going to do this a lot, you know, what we're doing here today. And I'm glad 5 of us have had the balls enough to do it. And, you know, I'm not saying that the people who haven't done it because they don't have the balls, but I mean, it takes a lot to put your thoughts out on, you know, on the table for, but I'm going to rename it Mission Control from now on, because, you know.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah, Deborah gave me that idea so I thought, yeah, Mission Control.
Thank you, Deborah. I'm covered in goosebumps.
And then we can have somebody else start a podcast, and they can call it Ground Control.
Ground Control, yeah, ground crew, yeah, ground control. Wow.
Sounds good.
I'm here to put my 2 cents in, clearly, according to all my charts. I'm here to speak the truth that I know from the Bible, speak my own truth to try to help others find theirs if they haven't found it yet.
Well, can you help me? Because I've been asked for 3 or 4 years now, who do you believe Bar Jesus is? Do you really believe that son of Jesus, Bar, son, the wizard in Acts?
Well, I believe Jesus is Thoth, which is the consciousness, which is our collective knowing. That's what I believe it is. Now,
well, the Bible says it'll wake up the dead in Christ first. So are we the sons of Christ? You know, the Bar Jesus is the wizards.
Yes, we are.
I think we're you know, everybody wants to talk nonsense about the fallen ones and this and that. I think we are the fallen ones.
We are the fallen ones. I've known that since before.
No matter what the cost, and I think we can do it. You know, and that's what we're doing, in my opinion.
You know, at first Lucifer fell because he didn't want to come here to help mankind. He didn't want to worship or whatever. He didn't want to love. He wanted to be the only. And so that's why we fell. But we are to become Christed, which then we make our YouTube channels, our Facebooks, our Twitters to, you know, preach what we know to try to help the masses, because now we love them, whether they love us or not.
And Miles' intellect is shining through the screaming in his background, and he says, "Smart people would be bad for the economy." Boom.
Well, the Lord is going to use the meek to confound the so-called wise.
Well, this may rub a lot of people the wrong way, but, you know, it's my belief or the way I feel. My belief may change tomorrow. I have an open.
Yeah.
You know, I am not stubborn in my, you know, it's what I know at the moment. Like I said, it could change tomorrow. I do not believe in Jesus. I'm sorry.
We all need to be able to change our belief as much as we change our socks.
You know, I mean, that's my opinion. God is within me. He's in my universe. He's in my head. Everything's within me. I don't need to call upon anybody or anything for my for my salvation. You know, that's me, and you know, that's my opinion.
Well, that's not the way I look at it. I don't mean Jesus as a physical being. I mean, inside each individual, we all start out being Lucifer in our incarnations, but eventually through reincarnation, we will become Christ.
But do you see where the word belief attaches label and causes humanity to dig their heels in?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about, I believe. Yeah. You know, and the word believe in the middle of it is lie, right?
Well, yeah.
He's trying to argue against belief, and then he says, that's what I believe.
Right. That's what I meant. I meant to do that just to show you the conundrum of our double-edged sword existence, because that's exactly what it's about. Is you know, you put a belief to something, you label it, and then you become that belief, and you believe that the belief is who you believe you are. You know.
Yeah, I don't really like to use the word believe much. I just stick to the word faith.
Yeah, but then you run into the whole, blind faith thing and this and that.
Not blind faith, no. But what you believe, you will receive and create. So,
yes, I guess it depends on the brain you use. You know, are you thinking from your gut? You thinking from your heart? Or are you thinking from little man?
I'm thinking from little man all the time.
Yeah.
The kickstand.
Women still beautiful.
I can use my kickstand more than most guys, I guess.
Okay, moving along.
I mean, hey.
Just remember, you're genuine, Steve.
Well, yes, I know that.
Wine, right?
And to get back to the emotion, it's kind of funny that emotion, and even in the way we say the word emotion, it's separate the E is from the motion. You know, so it's telling us inherently that it's energy in motion.
Yeah. That's a good part of your 72 bricks right there. You know, the jealous God, the wrathful God, the loving God, all your emotions.
Oh, Jerry, man, you've been saying that to me forever, and I just put it together what you meant by that.
Emotion.
You know, what are you mumbling about, Eric? Eric, are you there?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, we heard you. You must have been thinking out loud. You were mumbling something about.
I just said, yeah. I mean, emotion is everything else with an E. You know, we can relate to electronics, so that's what it is: electricity in motion.
Elohim. Yeah. Wow, that's a pretty good thought, man.
Oh, you said something about that earlier, which sparked me. But you guys keep bringing up, like, once you bring one point up, I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta say that. Somebody else brings something else up, and anyway, the Elohim. I looked into that because when I had a reading to tell me I was from Sirius, and I started looking into Sirius and everything I could find out about that and the relation to Orion, blah blah blah. Elohim, how we say Elohim is like more like Elohim, like IL
or Hem, like that.
Elohim.
Oh, Shim.
Elohim, yeah, like instead of Elohim, and the supposedly a real race, supposedly from the Orion sector. I don't know, I ain't been there in this lifetime to tell you, but if I could lucid dream and travel, I would be doing it and come back and report to you. Maybe one day. Maybe if I take a couple gallons of monatomic gold at once, I might
Hey, you know, I think anything in our little sector, like you just said about Orion and whatnot, I think Orion is a big role in everything because it exemplifies or personifies what our journey and what every allegorical story in our existence embodies, and the hero journey, you know. So I think the Elohim or the Elohim are probably us in the future, maybe, you know.
Oh yeah, unless you're back from the future, yeah.
Right. Yeah, and on your hoverboard, and you got Nikes before they were made, and all that. Yeah.
Well, according, like I said in many videos, according to Cosmic Christie, I am back from the future. I don't have a hoverboard or Nikes or anything like that.
And you forgot who won the Super Bowl, so you can bet on it and
so you could change the timeline. Maybe he was the perpetrator of the Mandela effect and our move in the cosmos.
I really hate that term Mandela effect, but people are so adopted.
I call it the Messiah effect. So you can take that and run with it.
I call it a quantum effect.
I call it nonsense. No, I'm just kidding. No, it's just one of those things where we can all hitch our wagon on one thing and just be sidetracked just long enough to keep us from our true and intentional or our true destination. And it seems like every time something loses favor in this genre of the internet, something else, another rose pops up or another tulip that smells better, or you know what I mean? It's just it's I from my short term on YouTube. That's what I've seen. And it's funny how all the channels would just all latch on to the newest and greatest. And you know, not saying that it's wrong, but is it necessary? Is all of this necessary?
No,
You know?
it's just a distraction to keep you off your path on finding your enlightenment, to finding your, remembering who you are, waking up from this illusion.
Well, I do know a good way of finding out who you are is I've been doing it from my channel. I'm looking up for those who work, because I don't. I'm looking up for those who work, what they are in every single different type of astrology that I can find and understand myself. And I'm doing that for, of course, a donation, because I got to eat, sadly, and helping people find out who they are, like I have found out who I am through people like Sister Levette, Cosmic Christie, you know, Kala Vedic astrology, Western astrology also. They're all different aspects of us, telling us what we've overcome and what we still need to overcome.
Right. That's pretty much what I'm coming to understand is that even the Mandela effect will lead, you know, because all roads, like we were talking earlier, lead back to the same spot. But I mean, is that road that is being presented, is what I was saying, is that road being presented for us individual aha moment to get more people on the ride of ascension, or the ride to the right, you know, to join the army of the right, or whatever you want to call it. And is that's where you got to discern whether or not to follow that. Me, I inherently just don't even, anything that comes up now that steers me from what I'm after right now, because that's what my whole past has been, okay, oh, this looks cool, I'm gonna go here, you know, like which way did he go, George? Which way did he go on Bugs Bunny? You know,
Kind of like leapfrog. You just leap from one thing to the next. You know?
Right.
Yeah. I went through a spout of that myself, and I just recently was like, you know what? I'm just forget all this noise. Just go to basically what you need and go from there. Forget all the sidetrack stuff, because they will. I mean, yeah, you get some truth and more information, but it really, when you break it down and think about it, what does it really matter? You know, if Tartaria exists or mud flood,
Right.
yeah, you know, when I get up another dimension and another level, I can just look down and watch what happens. Then I'll
Right.
know.
Yeah. Is that really going to get you any closer to where you want to be?
Correct.
Yeah.
And people will argue that, you know, you have to know where you are before you can get anywhere else. But I think that's bullshit, because, you know, whatever, we could be in a pickle jar under a fake fridge light in some fridge far off that doesn't even exist. And that's not going to matter, because we're all there together and we're all in the same predicament. So why don't we find the same destination, or try to come together instead of, but the whole division thing, you got to understand that, you know, we say this and it sounds contrived, or it sounds, you know, blissful and unicorns and rainbow-ish, but if without the duality and the negative and the positive and the clashing, we wouldn't be here, simply, period.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because there's rest and there's motion and everything. And, you know, you can call it negative this or positive that. In essence, if there wasn't the two of us to get married, we wouldn't have the kid. There wouldn't be because the one makes the two makes the three, and then four, and then five, and then boom, you know?
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sounds simple, but it's the most complex, simplistic thing you could ever get. Because when you start, I think the way Phil explains the whole, because I think I'm about like 10% into where I need to understand, but that 10% for me now is like 1,600-fold from what I understood a month ago, you know. And it's just
Right.
little tidbits will get you so much further if you're focused, like you said, Rainbow or Paula. You know, if you're focused on something. And me, I've always had this. Hey, Aaron's in the chat now. Hey, Aaron, you want to come on and add your 2 cents, because I'm sure you got something to say. I miss conversing with you, because he's in Australia dealing with 150-degree temperatures, and he's got a baby.
Yeah.
a new baby.
Horses are like dropping dead in the heat and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, Aaron, if you want to join, there's a link. Anybody wants to join, there's a link in the hard chat below the video or the live stream, you know. And I'm going to do this often. I don't know how often, maybe every day at 11 until I go back to work. But I mean, you know, and I'm going to do it at the same time. So, because I mean, everybody's got their YouTube schedule. I think they follow where there's certain shows that they go watch, and, you know, I don't want to take anything away from all that, but, you know, I think we can get something good here going, and this think tank thing is going to work out better than I think the commenting thing is, because when we're hearing perspectives of shows and you know, their thoughts, we tend to throw our thoughts out there, and then when so many people get into these chats, the chat's going by so fast you can't even read your own thought and the response to that thought, and then you get lost in it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think that this is going to be good, where and I can get 100 people on here at once, and I'll do it if they all 100 want to come on. You know, it'll be better than trying to chat your way or type your way into the thought matrix.
I don't know how many's talking right now, but you know, we talk without, you know, trying to overrun one another. We have respect for each other.
Right. This is better than Hangouts, though, because when you do that in Hangouts, there's like a 15-second lag after you cut the next person off.
And they make you stomp on each other. I hate that.
Yes.
We can always just raise our hand like we did in school, you know.
Hey, there's a hand thing on here, wasn't there? Oh,
yeah, there is a raise hand feature in here, too. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we can all just like lean in real quick, you know.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just grateful that I've learned what I have, because a few years ago, if martial law came out, I already got all my bullets stocked. And when they showed up, I'd be probably dead myself, because I didn't understand that, yeah, they stole from me. They lied to me. They kicked me down in the dirt, but they're also the ones that's going to save me in the end. If I can forgive their debts, forgive their trespasses.
Right.
But
absolutely.
I see with Trump's wall, you know, he's saying by the 15th, if, you know, they don't come up some agreement. I see, you know, Humvees and stuff running up and down that road. You know, he might call martial law or something in Texas. You know what I mean? And I agree, because I think it's just going to be like what the supposable roundup was with the Jews, because it's on our TV all the time that they can't do nothing with these people. They're illegal. You know, they go out there and steal your car, crash your car, and then they take you to jail. But just because they don't, you know, they're not legal here, all they can do is take them back, and they come right back over here, and you know what I mean? They got families. They're not going to leave, and they're still.
Yeah, but you have to think of it as this too. Without them illegal immigrants, America wouldn't be functioning the way America is, because of the work they do. Wow. You know, the migrant farm workers, the temporary workers, and
I'm not prejudiced in no way. You know what I mean? But the ones coming over here killing people and stealing and doing the drugs, and you know what I mean? And I mean, there's some bad people in the cities, dude. There's some, you know.
They all work for the CIA anyway, so.
Yeah, they're all smuggling poppies, man.
But the point is that there's so many channels out there, like, you know, don't watch the TV, you know, get your guns ready. If it ever did happen, a lot of people are going to die because they've got it in their head from these channels so much that, you know, the government's spraying you, trying to kill you, you know what I mean? So you go out there with your guns blazing.
Yeah, the fear porn.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole political issue is just bread and circus, in my opinion. Anyway, I don't even really like talking about all that stuff, because it just causes division, and people start digging their heels in, and you know, it really doesn't.
Dave Bird.
If it's about this world, I really don't care.
Well, that's what, you know, but that affects me, because I think there's going to come a day that, you know what I mean, there's going to be I don't know how long it lasts, if it's really going to be the 52 days or whatever, you know what I mean? But
go ahead, Deborah.
I was just going to say, you know, he said if it's about this world, it doesn't matter. In a lot of sense, you know, we say, yeah, it doesn't matter. But then again, we're still in this world. So we can know what's going on around us, but not be affected by it, you know, or just not let it affect us. Mm-hmm.
I can see through the mud, and I think that's where the mud flood came.
I think we need to see it. You know, we need to we need to see what's going on, but we do not have to be affected by it.
You can see the blue on black, the mud.
Yeah.
Because I think that's what the mud really is. If you watch the video, was that Gray Wolf or something Wolf, Bad Wolf? He redoes that song, Cranberries, Zombie. And if you watch it, there's a wall in between and it's covered with mud. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It keeps us from being married, you know, the real marriage that the Bible talks about, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Aaron says Runke's looking pretty sharp these days. I think he's got a man crush on you.
No, man. I'm not trisexual.
Try
yeah,
anything?
I use my kickstand a lot, but not for that purpose.
Hey, man. My wife pretty good. Looks pretty good dressed up in a pair of socks.
Now, what were you going to say, Eric?
Nothing. That sounds smart. Lost it already.
Eric's just like us, Runke. He has a million thoughts going through his head at once, and he wants to, you know, get it out when the time is right. And then once that time passes, it's like, man, what was I going to say?
Yeah.
But hey, guys, this was really this was real. This was fun. This was real fun, and we're gonna do it, you know, maybe every day, you know, until like I said, I go back to work or I'm plowing or whatever. But I appreciate you guys all joining me, and you know, maybe I'll put a topic that we can in each one of these, you know, and we'll try to stick to that topic for the first 20 minutes or so. But who knows? I can't stick to one thing. I don't know what you guys.
Let the spirit ride. Yeah.
Right. But yeah, anybody else wants to join this anytime, I'm going to put the link for the Zoom thing in the chat below the live stream. And, you know, I like to try to do things that aren't done just because in hopes it'll catch on and spread our message. And our message, I think, is one message that we need to get the stupid shit out of our heads and do what's right for us. And that's everybody, you know. And anybody who agrees with that can, you know, do what they got to do to help us, you know, help us.
I like that title, you know, A Better World, because, you know, ever since I was a little kid, I mean, way back in school, or, you know, I can remember that, you know, I've always in my head like, man, there's a better way to run this world. You know what I mean? This just don't even add up. And that it was just crazy you put that on there, because I've really thought about that for a long time. Because you know, if there weren't no judges, no prisons, no, you know what I mean, all these jobs would be lost. But who cares? You know what I mean? You wouldn't be living life in the fast lane all the time.
There's a good point. Is it money that creates the division that's necessary for our existence?
Right. If people just keep their ass at home, you know what I mean? But, you know, you got to have that dollar to live.
Well, you can't eat boogers and stay alive.
But I can hunt, dude. But then you're right back to, you know, how do you feed the masses? You can't please them. Oh, this chicken ain't big enough. This internet too slow. This phone don't pick up. You know,
right.
People, it's hard to. I couldn't imagine feeding all these people. I look on the interstates. You know, I was a truck driver too. It's like, how did he keep gas in all these cars? I mean, some of these big cities, like
you notice how cheap gas is nowadays too.
We're draining the blood right out of the earth. Yeah.
Because they make it out of GMO corn.
What was that, Eric?
So that's because they're making gas out of GMO corn now.
10% of it. Yep.
Well, no, now they got the 85 out there that if you put it in a regular car, it'll freaking fry the heads out of it because it burns so much hotter.
Yep.
Yeah. But it's kind of funny how oil is actually just dead biomass, you know, and it's burnt in our combustible engines, you know, and it's killing us in the same breath, you know, or whatever, because carbon, you can't sit in your garage. It's like starting your barbecue grill, your charcoal grill in your bedroom. You can't do it because it's not natural, you know.
And I believe that's so out of balance, you know what I mean? Because we're always in life in the fast lane. We're always stealing our energy from the sun, you know what I mean? We never, you know, like I said, remember the Sabbath. We got to rebuild that day where we all, you know what I mean? we're not going and we give the energy back to the sun, you know, where it's healthy again.
Miles chimes in with some wise words. They destroy their own environment in order to please the false money god. The end is entropy and death.
Steve, I just want to prepare you in case my wife comes at you one day and starts yelling at you about I took it as a challenge that I couldn't start a fire in the room. Barbecue.
Make sure you videotape that so we can see the results.
I'll make sure at the start I will say, "Here, hold my beer and watch this."
Yeah, Eric's been in my reality since I started my channel, which was, you know, the whole sky watching routine that, you know, and I look back on that as like, wow, I can't believe I was so into it like that, but it was part of my journey, and I really honestly believed what I was saying at the time. And that's just, it goes to show you how much our minds can shift and just by our environmental input, you know, and it's just crazy.
Yeah,
and each of us have our own little way of waking up.
Yeah, same thing. It seems so like, okay, it made sense with the information you had and with stitching and whatever else, and it really did make sense. And then it started not making sense. Like, okay, this should have came by now. What's going on? It's
Right.
like 4 years into this shit. It's not what it's orbiting now. What?
Right.
You know, so it's like, are they like trying to make it seem like that so that they're like someone said earlier, you know, trying to force us to go that way to think about it and put our emotions into it, and that's how we manifest it. And that's one thing I kind of was wondering, maybe a subject we can get into one time would be, you know, how exactly are we co-manufacturing or
manifesting our
manifesting
reality?
this reality, you know, for all of us to share and be in different parts of the journey, supposedly, you know, like that's one thing that I still have to wrap my head around. But
right, and you know, I think we're in the process of learning that, aren't we? I mean, I think that's where we're at right now in our little niche collective, that we're really realizing that all is mind in essence at first, and then that you know, you got to think about making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich before you can eat it, you know, and manifest it. So I mean, it's that simple. It sounds kind of stupid, but you know, it's like Aaron. He sent me an email the other day, and he said, you know, he, like I said earlier, he had some entity come to him in his astral travels and say that it's the cyclical information that they're going to try to use to manifest the reality that we don't want. And that's in the Emerald Tablets as well, that the key of prophecy, you know, do we have prophecy to steer our ship? Is that the steering wheel for the boat? You know what I mean? The prophecy and the prophetic word and all that. Hello?
I hear you, Steve.
I hear you. I got a phone call. Oh, you caught me texting.
No, I thought you were all froze up because Jerry was stuck and you were stuck in.
It's like we all, as you said that, we all something like
We just
made us all like look off and do something else at the
Maybe
same
we're
moment.
not supposed to answer that question. I don't know.
we had to meditate on that one. We started soaking that one in.
Well, because prophetic word has been rife through our existence. I mean, from the beginning, I'm sure some caveman thought he's seen a sign in the sky, and then, you know, and made some prophecy that, you know, the cow's gonna poop on the bull, and you know, and then all of a sudden the you know, the fire is gonna start in the cave next to us or whatever, you know, something stupid like that. But I mean, it seems like the prophetic word seems to graduate to another magnitude every time you hear something. It's like the mud flood and all of the stuff that is in our. What is that noise?
Yes, Rainbow. I was just about to say something, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
He's a chipmunk. She always says that. She does. She's flipping out right now, you know. She's going, right.
We should have just named her Alvin and let her go.
Man, I want to hear that.
But you see how I try to end these shows, and we always end up just talking again. Yes, sir.
Well, stuff comes out for a reason when it needs
I'm
to.
on my way.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Bye.
And I guess it needs to end.
I got to go to plowing, guys. I got to go plow my way.
Oh,
But I'll leave this thing open if you guys want to continue it. You know, I don't care.
I need to go anyway. I got a ball game to go to.
Yeah, the snow is calling me, guys. But hey, I appreciate every one of you. I love every one of you. Even if you hate me, I love you because me loving you and you hating me isn't going to get me any further back. It'll only propel me into the future. So, yeah, thank you, Eric. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Runky Monkey. And thank you, Paula Chipmunk. We love you.
It was good meeting everybody. Jerry, Eric, Steve, Paula.
You too, sweetheart.
Thank you for your help.
Hey, we'll do this every day or whatever.
Not much help.
It only takes one word.
Yeah, appreciate you.
All right, y'all.
Love, peace, chicken grease.
All right.
Later.